Welcome to Journeys of Empowerment, where real stories, raw truth and powerful shifts come to life. I'm Michiel Sujit Rijt, and around here, we don't do small talk. We spark transformation. Let's go! Still trying to fix performance with new processes, more training or better KPIs? That's not the problem. Behavior is. Neutopia flips the script with a method that actually works. No gimmicks, no fluff. In the Awareness Workshop, you'll learn why good processes fail in execution, why learning doesn't stick, and how to build teams that own behavior, not just follow rules. Change shouldn't drain you, it should drive you. Dare to lead different? Visit neutopia.nl. Could one of Europe's biggest business problems be solved by starting with better questions? In this episode, I sit down with Alisher Jafarov, founder and CEO of Avery, a B2B SaaS company rethinking how companies hire by bringing purpose, people and performance back into alignment. Alisher's personal journey from corporate success to startup founder reflects a deeper quest. How do we move from pure drivenness to true depth? We explore the true costs of Europe's growing talent crisis, harnessing AI to serve human potential, not just efficiency, leaving corporate life to build something more meaningful. The tension between ambition and presence, and a bold vision, building an island for brilliant minds to shape the future. One insight keeps ringing true. Purpose isn't a luxury. It's a compass when everything feels uncertain. So here's a pause for you. When the last time you stopped not to plan ahead, but to honor how far you've already come. This is Alisher's story. So let's go. I pushed on recording already, so buddy. And so first of all, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's start with your beloved Avery.
I love it. Yeah, AJ's here, founder and CEO of Avery. 13 months ago, I actually started this journey. It actually based on my own experience of being hiring manager, hiring hundreds of people, having interviews with thousands of people, and always having one thing in my mind, why the hiring process is not that much data-driven, why it cannot be so effective. At least that was the case for a long, long time. But I said, you know what, maybe one day I will actually have enough time, enough capacity and space in my mind to really start fixing that issue. Long story short, 13 months ago, I actually completely quit the corporate world, all my projects, all my consultancy, and I just focused on one single mission to first understand completely what's wrong with the hiring process, and then basically start to really craft a solution which can help a lot of hiring managers, but also hiring teams to find the great talent immediately. So Avery is actually the company which building the technology, B2B SaaS, for the hiring teams to define what is the right talent for the company, but then to match it with the internal and external talent pools. And we are already between the pre-seed and seed, so which means that we have our pilot customers. We already had some money raised, and now we're hiring the first employees as well. One of the stories I already shared was in the while ago. So yeah, super exciting journey. Lots of things to learn, especially because I was not in the technology industry before, because I'm coming from the FMCG world, you know. So yeah, it's completely super exciting and hopefully very rewarding journey so far.
Yeah, it's a bumpy road for sure, right?
Yes,
never a dull moment. And what did you discover in your journey towards the MVP? What did you discover, and what became the hypothesis?
Yeah, that's a good one. More than 500 interviews, first of all. Mm-hmm. So that was not actually based on assumption or just a couple of them. 90% of the people talking about the same issues, that everybody wants the unicorn in the beginning. They have no understanding like what is happening in the market and what is actually the real need of the company. And there was like the same pattern over all the calls. And then we started to really ask like, okay, what exactly is not working? Like what is missing? So the missing element is actually all the intelligence across the company, because you have all the information, but it's just scattered across all the tools you're having. Yeah.
Sometimes. What information are you talking about then?
The candidates, the good hires, the bad hires. When you say the culture fit, what exactly you mean by that? Mm-hmm. What works for your company? What doesn't work for your company? Yeah. What type of traits can be successful within your environment? Yeah, because we know that the companies are different. That's completely fine. A lot of things, they are like based on hunch. Like, it just feels right to me, or it doesn't feel right to me. But we said, okay, most probably we won't be able to digitalize all of the things. But obviously now, when like 20% digitalized, we can go towards 80% and then help you to complement your hunch, complement your gut feeling with something more tangible. So you're actually making less mistakes, because the hiring mistake is a huge one. Yeah. Now, for example, only in the Netherlands, by the way, the number is crazy. Only in the Netherlands is 1 billion hidden talent crisis. Across the Europe, 27 billion on a yearly basis.
And what does it actually mean when you say
the talent crisis?
Yeah,
that's a good one. So basically, this is the price, this is the cost of all companies missing and actually losing the money every year, because they need to change the talents, they need to change the employees all the time. And this is also, it's not even considered the price that they're not growing. For example, we know, especially for the growing companies, people are everything. So if you get the right person on board, that's it. Like, this is 85% of the success. Yeah. Because they know what to do. You just need to guide them. You can just share the mission and they will find the creative ways to make it happen. But that's the moment what is actually missing now. Yeah. We're just like hiring, checking, firing, hiring, checking, firing. But come on, it should be a better way.
And if a client of you is going to work with you, what is the outcome of working with Avery?
Yeah. As a customer, they will get the technology. It's a software which will complement their tech stack. So which means that if they have an applicant tracking system, in case, we will integrate with the applicant tracking system, and they can kick off the process with us, with Avery. So which means that now they can do the intake with the help of Avery, which means that they have all the intelligence already from the market, from the organization. So which means that when they're defining the profile, they can already see, oh, it clicks with the market. Oh, it doesn't click with the market. How many people out there are we even defining the right profile right now? Maybe we need to change a bit the angle, like all of the things are on the screen. So they don't need to actually take some time to do the research. Everything is there, and it will get even better. Why? Because we're going to learn more patterns. We're going to learn from the clicks, The engine is intelligent, to be honest. And then basically after that, we also like enriching all the talent pools all the time. Yeah, like internal one, external one. So which means that maybe you don't need to even have the problem to start hiring someone, but you can see that, hey, maybe you don't need to hire right now. You feel that you don't need to hire, but there are like such amazing people who can be a great fit for your company. And it's on your screen by connecting with all the insights inside your company, with the market. And you said, you know what? I wasn't planning to hire, but with this person, I definitely can win even more. Like, that's basically what you can get as a company.
Yeah, that sounds like music in a lot of ears, I can imagine. And what is the ideal customer for Avery?
Growing companies, because the growing companies, they're hiring, they're in active mode. So we are targeting right now like 200 to 1,000 employee size companies. Yeah. Why? Because these are exactly the type of companies who are growing, who are hiring, who are facing the mishires. It hurts a lot. Yeah. At the same time, they are open to innovate. They are not that much stuck with like a big solutions, which they invested like a millions of money. So that would be actually a great fit for us.
And the mission you are on?
To fix the misalignment, mishires. So, and bridge actually the great jobs, the great companies with the great talents.
And how that's of course beautiful. And how much so how logical was it? How logical step was it? You from a corporate background, maybe a little bit background about your corporate background, and in transitioning into the bumpy road of a startup, and actually really founding and co-founding your startup. But it's quite a jump, right?
It is quite a jump, to be honest. It's
also financially safe, financial safety, and all those kind of things. And being a father and it's a bold move.
It is a bold move, to be honest. Yes, indeed. Maybe to give a bit of context as well. Indeed, I actually started my journey in corporate world. I started with Carlsberg. That was actually the best employer for 5 or 6 years when I was graduating the university back in Uzbekistan, because this is exactly originally I'm from. Yeah. I'm living in the Netherlands for the last 3 years, but originally coming from Uzbekistan. So for me, to enter that world of corporate, but also like working with expats, because a lot of expats were there, for me was the dream scenario. And my brother was actually the reason for that as well. We are 3 brothers in the family, so I'm the youngest one. You can imagine, like, in our family, if somebody needs to be blamed or somebody needs to clean everything, so that was me.
Now we're laughing, but then
that was a bit different then. Everyone was working super hard, to be honest. But so Beer, my brother actually, who is in the middle, he was really impacting all the time in a positive way. Yeah, always like, hey, he was already working in that company, and he's like, I think that can be quite a good start in your corporate journey. Like, just think about it. And that's how I actually started with Carlsberg. Then I actually moved to Colgate. Then I moved back to Carlsberg again because there was a really nice opportunity, and I also felt like this is my home in a way, because I started my career at Carlsberg. And then it was also like a bit of move towards the consulting. Why? Because everything became like a bit small to me. Why? Because I can do more. That's the confidence came with all the projects, successful projects and everything. So there was like I launched a mini version of the BCG or Bain back in Uzbekistan, doing the change management projects for local big companies. So you can imagine that was actually already a shift. And then I was also actually got really super cool offer from Heineken, because I was already in contact with the people there, like just feeling like maybe something can be interesting while I was back in Carlsberg already. So and then I got offered to Iran. You can imagine Iran, Heineken. That's not something which
you come up with easily. Okay.
Indeed. And they were actually searching for the right profile to be a head of sales and trade marketing, to establish all the processes of Heineken for non-alcoholic beverage company there. Okay. So I was the right profile. And then, I was starting to work with Dutch people. But at the same time, I was like also traveling to Netherlands. And that idea came like, okay, you know what? That can be actually a great place to move and see myself and my family actually as the next level. Yeah.
Did you live then in
Iran?
Iran. With your family?
With my family. But the family was living for like a very short time. Yeah. Because that was actually, unfortunately, that was exactly the period of the COVID. The COVID first hit, obviously, the China, and then Iran was second, and Italy was third. So there was very messy period in a way. So the family, we evacuated the family, to be honest, because there was like a couple of flights. But then long story short, that's how I moved to the Netherlands at some point. So that was like, if you're going to think, was it logical to move from the corporate world to consulting and then back to corporate, and now is actually doing your own like B2B SaaS company? I wouldn't imagine that I will be doing that 10 years ago, to be honest. That was not the case. I was more thinking about this management consulting to like building more teams, building more services to really like cover all the possible needs of the companies from all the angles. But while I was doing actually these consulting projects for the B2B SaaS companies as well, I saw that there is a need. Lots of things can be fixed in the environment, the business environment, but not only business environment, if you're bringing the right technology. And I was just like thinking, okay, I need to come up with something maybe urging, like really big pain point for everyone, but at the same time, something which keeps me passionate, like which keeps me energized to do it like 24 hours basically per day. Yeah. So luckily now I have that feeling, now I have that idea. So I just need to make sure that I will bring it to the life.
Beautiful. And you said Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
Well, growing up there, what shaped your early ambition? You're so driven. Where does that come from?
I think the country itself, because the Uzbekistan is emerging market, yeah? So it also comes with all its specifics, where you need to actually always survive. You need to always prove in your network, in your environment, that you're a better version of yourself, and that actually like shapes. At least this shaped my parents, my father. That he was also projecting it to his own family. So he was also like giving this idea that you can be better. Whatever you achieved, it's just not good enough. And in the beginning, for sure, like that moment, that was like super painful, because we were thinking, okay, like whatever we do, it's just never good enough. Like you won't get the applauses, whatever you do. But he was just really trying to push us, like, okay, you can do more, you can do more. And that's what I was doing actually, yeah, because even when I was 12, like I was working. Yeah, the studies in the first part of the day, the second part of the day, you need to work. You need to actually be useful for your little environment, your family. So you need to deliver. Like always, you need to deliver. You cannot be relaxed. Sounds not maybe that healthy right now, especially in the European environment. But I think that actually shaped, in a way, the personality I have now. So, yeah.
Yeah, the drivenness is obvious, and that makes me curious. What is your definition of good enough?
Oh, oh, that's a tricky one. Yeah, it's good and bad, to be honest. Why? Because the drivenness is something which helps you a lot to accomplish lots of things on your way. But at the same time, it always feels like it's not good enough, you know? Even now, why I'm actually saying that it's a good and bad, because from one thing, everybody can see that you're just like pushing, yeah? Pushing. So, wow, now we achieved this. Now we have a company. Oh, now we have a customers. Oh, now we have a product. Like everybody's like super happy with the results. From different perspective, they see that the success, they see the accomplishments, they love it. But at the same time, you just like keep pushing all the time. And from the side, it feels like for you, it's not good enough. Like you can do more, you can be better, never settle. Like just go, run, don't sit, don't talk, keep walking. So for me, it's quite difficult to answer what is good enough, because I see that whatever we have now, or me, let's be very, very personal. It's not like it's not good enough, but I can do more. I can be better. I can impact in a more bigger way. I can be more useful. If that makes sense.
When it comes from the heart, it always makes sense. So who am I to judge? And I will never. It's more that when I hear that, I think business-wise, it can bring a lot. It can work for you a lot. And on the other hand, you're now father yourself.
Yeah.
And I can imagine a lot of things in your upbringing which is working for you. But what is the difference between your son and you and your father and you? Are you doing things differently, or how's fatherhood for you working out?
Yeah, I didn't plan to be a father, to be honest, when I was 22 or 23. I had a lot of plans, but to become a father, to get married and everything, that was not the first plan, at least. But then I met my wife, and it felt right. Everything felt right in that moment. Like, okay, we need to do that. There is no other way. Like, this is the only way we have. And then eventually, we were blessed with our Dior. My kid, he's turning 5 this month, by the way. Yeah, and in the beginning, it felt like, okay, what should I do? Like, yeah, definitely need to give attention and everything. But it's just like in the beginning, because the kid is small, like you cannot do a lot of things, right? Yeah. But now he's turning 5. He's super curious about the world. He's super driven as well. You can imagine. There's something in the DNA. There's something in the DNA. So
is it nature or is it nurture? Is it more nature or is it more nurture? You have to choose. What do you think?
I think it's nature.
Yeah.
For the time being, it's nature. at least this is something which I feel I can be wrong as well. But hey, I love the way he's actually interacts with the world, interacts with us. He's very stubborn. I can see myself. And maybe a bit back to your question, like how do I feel myself as a father, and do I do the same things as my father did? I try to do the best things which my father did, actually. But I think I also like projecting some of the patterns, which not necessarily I find useful. But I'm keep working on that. Yeah, I'm trying to be very demanding as well. Like back to the story, which I said, like, you're not good enough. You need to do more. But when he's actually reacting, like, hey, he's almost like giving the message, and you can read between the lines, like, hey, this is your way of doing that.
And sort of push back.
Exactly. Like, I don't do that. I do it in my own way. I said, you know what? That makes sense to me now. So basically, I'm trying to be a bit better father. And I think that would be always the case. Like, my son would be a bit better parent for his kids as well.
Of course.
But still in progress.
And we are all work in progress. Yeah. So when you look at your upbringing and home and school, and what are the elements do you think for the successes you're booking now? So what are the key elements that are working for you while moving forward? What is your formula?
To have a purpose is the number one thing. And this is something which I'm always doing as an exercise with me. Like, is it the same purpose? Am I actually going with the right direction? Because that was the case. And I think that self-reflection, like at least once in a month, this is something I keep doing. And for me, like, that's one thing, and the only thing which keeps me on track. And the purpose is not necessarily the business one. The purpose is like more as a human being, like where I want to achieve. The second thing is actually environment, which I keep investing all the time. The energy wise, like that we can do more, we can be better. Like if we are not doing that, who needs to do that? Like, hey, we are exactly in the situation where we need to shine. And I think the energy which I am also getting back, that, hey, like, feels right. Let's just do that. And that's why actually I joined the forces also with Dutch partners here, the Builder Startup Studio, because this is what I get as a return as well. Like they feel it. They are on track with me on the same mission. And I think that the belief that I'm actually every day, at the end of the day, I achieve something. Small steps, sometimes big steps. But I'm like, I'm getting like a 0.5%, 1% closer to this big purpose, And maybe I will never reach that purpose in a way. But I'm getting closer. That actually keeps me alive.
You can see that. And can you share a little bit more about that purpose? Because that's it does something with you, that's obvious. Yeah. But what is your purpose?
I have that dream, and it's not. You can perceive it in two different ways. I want to have an island, but that's not just island where I will be living. I want to have the island where I can accommodate great minds who wants to change the world from different angles, and I want to have and keep nurturing this environment on that island so everybody can believe that they can do better. They can do more. There are no limits. And then we start seeing the small pieces of outcomes of that island idea in different parts of the world, And I want to be in the center of that island in a way that I'm super happy that I'm facilitating the whole environment, pushing the boundaries, helping them, supporting them, bridging them, connecting them with everything they want to achieve in this world for the better of the world, for the better of the humankind. And I know that would be, maybe this is not the final purpose, but once I will achieve that goal, I would be feeling like I'm on the top of the world, in my inner world, that I did something right in my life. It's not about the money. It's not about the family members that I bought some things for them that now we're living a bit better life. No. That I was and I am useful for the humankind in this world. Sounds big, but I just want to start with the small things, like the island.
Small island.
Exactly. Small island, small amount of people who are actually starting to do some small steps towards the better world. And yeah, there's a long way to go there.
So there's not only in future there will be besides a builders.studio, there will be a builders.island. Right?
That can be a good name for that project. No, indeed.
Yeah, and if you peel the onion a little bit more, why is that so important for you? Why is it so important for you, and what does it bring in you that you want to be in that center of that island? Because that says a lot about who you are and what are you looking for in life, and it does answer something with it deeply within us, I believe.
Yeah. I think in terms of being not necessarily in the spotlight of something, but just be someone who can create and who can actually create. Maybe, that would be right, actually. To create the environment where everybody feels comfortable. That was always the case for me, because I was the one who's coming into the room, and I see that if someone is not talking to each other, because it's just normal, for me that was not normal. For me, it was, okay, why they're not talking to each other? Why? Because they don't know each other. Okay, you are coming from the Unilever, you're doing the marketing. You're coming from Carlsberg, you're also doing marketing. Okay, I will connect you both and see how that's going to fly, And I was doing it always with different type of people. And at some point, what I actually managed to do, I created a small group of friends from absolutely different part of my life. Mm-hmm. Somebody coming from the school, somebody coming from the university, somebody's coming from one company, another company, etc. And now, in the beginning, it was like very shocking for everyone. Like, okay, what do we have in common? Like, okay, we know you, but we're super good with you, but it doesn't mean that we need to actually hang around with each other. And I was like really trying to polish from all the sides. But now they are friends for the last 5 years already.
Beautiful.
I'm not there anymore in Uzbekistan, but they are meeting with each other. They are supporting each other. You need to see that, the interaction and everything. So for me, that shaper, that was always there. But the question was, okay, on which scale, on which level you will end up to shape things around yourself? Is it just like a friends? Is it something more than that? And now, on purpose, I'm going with this recruitment, people, hiring, because I want to also create something which helps to more people. Like millions of people can actually benefit from the technology we're building. But going back, and as you said, like peeling the onion. So I think on that island that I'm actually shaping, that I can shape greater minds together, greater people with each other, that they can actually start creating something which they didn't even plan, but now it's possible. Now they have it. And I would be super useful, because for me, it's going back to my childhood. You need to be useful. Maybe you don't need to be useful, but that's the way I actually grew. Yeah. So I need to be useful, and I want to be useful. Maybe need, not the right word. Now I want to be useful.
There's no right or wrong. Right?
Exactly.
What makes me curious, and I believe the listener also, is, can you define a little bit more the word useful? What do you mean by useful?
That you're impacting on a positive way, at least a small amount of people, but hopefully much bigger.
Yeah. Of course.
For example, if I'm already doing something, I mean, we always say that, at least in our culture, that if you want to be so good, start with your house. Because you can talk about the big politics, what is Trump is doing, the terrorists and everything, but can you just start fixing your
the mess in your house?
Exactly, the mess in your house.
Yeah.
And for me, it was always the case. Like, okay, start there, and this is what we're doing now with my wife as well. Like. Something in the house, small things. But if you see that you are getting better in the house, then you're getting better in the job, then you can get better actually in the community, in the society. That's how you want to actually keep impacting in a positive way. Yeah, at least I'm on that journey, and that's why I'm actually being always like saying that. Sorry for that. It's a long journey. I'm learning a lot. And to be honest, if I will be listening to myself 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I would say, oh my gosh, like really? Because, and I think maybe hopefully I will be doing the same in 3 to 4 years, because I will learn something more. I will learn something bigger in a way, yeah? That there is no limit. You always can thrive towards the better version of yourself, even when you're 70.
Yeah, well, I'm now 51. I'm now 51, and I can assure you that it is possible. I'm a better version now than I was when I was 10 years younger. Are you okay, buddy?
Oh, sorry for that.
No problem. Okay, and
now it's much better.
And if you look back at the last, let's say, 5 years, with all your drivenness, and also I think you can be very hard for yourself.
Yeah.
Push yourself, but also, what are you most proud of when you're looking back for roughly a period of 5 years?
Oh, that's a good one. I guess the first thing is I'm starting to actually count more on myself as in a way that I can risk more. I always could do that, but I was also like balancing, because there is a comfort zone which actually helps to sustain not only my life, but also life of my close people to myself. But now I can see that I can do more and I can move faster. And I think this is something I was keep getting as advice from my friends. But I was like, yeah, but come on, I'm doing already a lot. But now I see that, okay, that's something I can improve, like keep improving. I think that's what I really like about myself now. The second is actually all the connections I'm bridging for my network. As an example, that was actually my friends.
Yeah. We made a little pause to give you some breathing space for the cough. I can imagine that can be very annoying. Hey, we're back again, and so the last question was, of course, about where you're most proud of. But now looking forward, and imagine moving forward with Avery, but also as a father, as a husband, in private life. What would be the thing you would love to be most proud of if we're sitting here 5 years later?
1 or 2?
2.
Thank you for that. One is actually the impact of Avery. I really, really hope, because that is actually what keeps me super energized and motivated, that the impact would be so big in a positive way, that the people can actually easily can find the dream job. Maybe they don't know even that they're actually doing it with the help of Avery, but that would be huge, huge thing for me, that we did something nice in this environment, that it's not so broken anymore. That would be the first thing. The second, in 5 years, right?
Yes.
That I'm more stable with my energy, as a person, I'm actually happy with the way I'm building the relationship with my family, and I'm happy with the way I am in that moment. That would make me proud, that I don't have that feeling that it's just not good enough, that I can do more. I can do more, and I will do more, but I also want to feel the momentum, because otherwise it just feels a bit lonely all the time, that it's just like keep going, keep walking. And I wanted to start recognizing and rewarding that little steps as well. Now it's a bit challenging. Hopefully that will come actually in 5 years.
And that's an interesting and also great ambition to have. And also it says a lot that you're already so self-aware that you are aiming for that feeling, which is now not the feeling at the moment, right? It's not a default for you. It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Yes, indeed.
What do you think you need for that?
Keep learning. Keep learning not only from the things I do, keep learning from the best, keep learning from the people, from the right people actually in my network. One example is you, Michiel, because you were also saying a lot of things which clicks with me. And I think if I would be more open, and I always can be more open to that, I can already start changing more.
Is it about change?
I think it's about giving the space for that change, that you can accept the feeling that you don't need to chase yourself or the better version of yourself all the time. Sometimes you just can take a pause for 1 single minute, which is not happening for me, because I feel like it's going to be time wasted.
And what? How old are you now?
34.
So young. 34.
Very young.
Very young, very young. Now I'm feeling really old as 51.
Oh, come on.
No. But the reason why I asked the question, do you think it's about change? I love your answer that you said it's about space. And what I come to believe myself, being a very highly driven and always more and more and more and higher achieve. It was always about achievement, and what I came to find out myself, if I'm allowed to share a little, is that it's. I already mentioned the word. If I'm allowed to, it's the word allowed. Allowed to be who you are. I came to realize that that's the main challenge. Allowing yourself to be you.
Yeah.
And to be okay with that. And even for myself, I asked permission to share a little bit about myself. You said yes. So for me, it was all about more in terms of that I don't hear about you and I don't see about you. But for me, it was all about more in also the materialistic stuff. Mm-hmm. It's really the better car, the faster, the bigger house, whatever, the expensive watch. It was all about sort of identity building, buying, identity quest for me. So if I have that next watch, if I have that next car, if I have the next house, if I live there, if my children go to that school, then, and as I mentioned already, welcome to my big student home in my home studio. This is the least luxury place I ever lived, and yet it feels as the most as home as wherever. And the biggest transformation personally are between these walls. Yes, it's a big house, yet it is far away from the luxury life and houses I lived, and yet it feels more at home than wherever. And I think it's the transformation inside of us which allows me to be me without needing all the and also what you said about feeling useful. I think you're every day you are of worth for others and making impact, because that was interesting when we peel the onion a little bit, but useful, but it's for you making impact. And I believe when I look at you, I think each and every day you're making impact. The only question is, are you seeing it yourself?
I need to start seeing it more.
Then allow yourself.
I will. Thank you, Michiel. I love
yeah.
it. I love this perspective.
Yeah, and it's okay, being driven and pushing the boundaries and moving forward, and especially in the startup stage where you're in that now, and you're in the pre-seed stage, and so how is the let's the drivenness is it how is that startup road working for you? How do you experience that?
Lots of unknowns. When it comes to the product, you feel like you can give some deadlines at least to yourself and to customers.
Mm-hmm.
And you can imagine them manage the expectation from the customers. It's very challenging moment. And you're always taking some like backup period as well. Like if it's 4 weeks, then you say 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But then the nature of the technology production is so uncertain that it's just pushing all the limits in a way in your head. But then it's you starting to be annoyed by the situation that you cannot control it in a way. But then you're starting to find the balance between, okay, what is actually team can deliver within that momentum and what you can actually say it out loud. Yeah. So basically managing not only the expectation from the customers, but my expectations to develop something. This is the hardest actually moment so far, building the B2B SaaS company. But I'm learning actually on a daily basis that this is something I can actually at least start managing and owning a bit more. Why? Because if I need to put more people, then I need to put more people. If I need to actually get more money for that, then I need to actually chase for the money a bit. Yeah. So I'm starting to feel that I can also own it, but from a bit different angle. Yeah. So that's not that much straightforward as it used to be in the FMCG world. So, but at the same time, it also comes with something I love. Why? Because this is something, I mean, what we are building, it feels, and I know that that would be actually the case for a very long term. So the technology can actually exist for decades. But if you're just producing something very small as a product, then obviously you can be replaced tomorrow. So I love that actually switched the industries towards the technology.
What do you see most shifting in when it comes to hiring? Well, let's say 24 months ago and now. What are the biggest shifts in hiring?
That's a good one.
Because I can imagine with technology entering also the market and expectations. Yeah. And
before that, 24 months, 2 years ago, for example, indeed, if you want to be actually very detailed with all the applicants and everything, you need to really go deep dive, towards everything, like to screen all the applicants, or sometimes you can actually lose the golden nuggets in the process. There was the case a lot, and you're investing a lot of time as well, like 50% of the time. But now what you can do, you can actually, with the help of AI, with the help of tools you have, you can screen the people for all the possible contexts, for all the possible things which you usually read between the lines in a matter of seconds. And then okay, these are actually the 5 people I need to talk. And then you need to just focus on the conversation with these people. Because then you can, as you're doing it with me now, Michiel, you're unpacking them and saying, okay, is it something which fits both of us? Like company to you and you to the company, yeah? But before that, 24 months ago, you need to just take your chances like, okay, these are the 10 people out of 1,000. Maybe they will be good enough, yeah? But now you know for sure that these are 10 people worth chatting with exactly in this specific scenario. I think this is now possible, which is already amazing because that helps a lot to the job market.
I agree fully because when I started the podcast, I was like, hey, how can I leverage AI helping me in the screening process of the candidates? And of course, the conversation you do yourself. But it's always, it's a lot of work to do the research, right? And if AI is able to help you with that, and it's amazing what you can get out of the data, which is available everywhere. Yeah. To get a brief picture of somebody who's sitting, across the table and having a conversation with you. You can really. It's amazing what's happening, and what I'm curious about is hear a sound from the market, and I thought, it was last week, was it? I thought Unilever is already implementing that there will be in future no roles anymore, but a sort of project-based skill sets. And I was taken aback a little bit. I was like, huh? But how does that work? And there were internal applicants, and they were matching the capabilities needed to make the project succeed.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is a puzzle. There for sure you need AI and you need technology, because how are you keeping up with so many people, so many projects, so many variables, and then how to do that? Do you see that the same kind of development a little bit?
Yeah. But that's exactly the beauty of it, yeah? I mean, now it's possible, because before that you need to be lucky to find that right set of capabilities and the behavior and traits for a specific project. But now it's not luck anymore. Now you can actually forecast that and say like, okay, I have actually 25 great candidates for that project, because all of them have that set of capabilities and mindset and everything. For example, when I was actually doing the project for Colgate, I was also running the project to launch the restaurant and the retail chain. How you can see that in my CV? That's impossible. You just see that in the motion. You see that when we were working together, like, okay, he's capable. But now it was like, there was one specific case, But now, for example, if you're Unilever, you have like thousands of employees around the world, and you need to actually run the project in Kenya. And now you exactly know where are your actually team members. So you can actually join them together and push it already tomorrow. That's the beauty of it. Now you can move faster with all the things. And I love it. I know it sounds a bit crazy, because the moment you actually started to describe that, I said, you know what? Everybody can leverage from it now. It's not only Unilever can do that.
It's amazing. But it's also a cultural shift, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not about only being able and capable as a company to do that. Yeah. But it's also that a lot of things becomes fluid. Yeah. And that's interesting. Personally, I love things being fluid and not too rigid and not too carved in stone. The other hand, it's also like people, what I heard, have to apply within 3 years again to come back in the company, or maybe move on. So I don't know what's actually true, but I was like, huh? But it's evolving, and sort of a certification every 3 years to even stay in the company. So is that the future that you see foresee?
I think that the world is changing. Not maybe the world, but actually the professional world, the corporate world is changing a lot right now. You can see that even the roles are being created right now. So it used to be just a sales manager, but now you have like a 25 niche specific roles within the sales, which used to be called like sales manager,
especially in SaaS.
Exactly. That's exactly the case. And I think with this trend, first of all, you need to always keep up yourself with all the technology around, because it's moving everything so fast right now. But from the different scenario, that also gives the possibility to leverage the skill set of all the resources you have within your company in a different way, in a more creative way. And I think this is super cool. Why? Because it used to be, okay, if you want to get this position, then you need to have these titles for this for this long. That's not the case anymore. I know that you just working with us for 2 years, but you are capable of doing this specific project. And I think that is something which opens and even unlocks the real potential of all the great talents companies has. So I think that's a cool thing. That's a cool shift. I like it.
I can imagine. And is Avery a SaaS native or an AI native company?
AI native.
AI native.
Yeah.
Okay, because I heard you saying B2B SaaS, but AI native when it comes to the core.
Yeah.
What is the biggest difference?
We initially accepted And building the company is actually based on all the possibilities we can offer to the talent market. And with the help of AI, we know that we can actually connect the dots which were impossible to connect before that. And now it's possible. It's not only about the integrations like with your ATS and etc. It's actually creating the knowledge graph with all the data from all the possible sources and keep fitting it, keep improving it. So that's actually the whole angle is a bit different, yeah? That's why we say it's AI native.
I can imagine it resonates because I heard Jacco van der Kooi from the founder of Winning by Design. He shared what he shared on a summit, and it was about the biggest difference between AI, SaaS native and AI native is that in AI native, it is all about laser focused on the user. So not on the client or customer or acquisition or sales. No, it's really about the user because you know so much about the user, so hyper-targeted and personalized. You can grow your business easily and more easily. And what can SaaS learn from that? Because there's a difference. And with AI, you're able to grow your business rapidly because you are so hyper-targeted and so hyper-personalized that you can, and with big numbers and every time personalized, you can grow fast. That's the exponential faster than SaaS at this moment. And
I love this explanation.
Yeah. I was like, I will send you the link to it because, of course, Mr. van der Kooi can explain it much faster and easier than I can. But no, there's an interesting development. Yeah. And you saw I posted on LinkedIn today, and I never do those kind of posts. And it wasn't about selling; it was about offering before I'm going to offer it to a broker. And to be honest, I had the URL 1 month, and I got already a serious offer for it, but I wasn't ready for that at that moment because I really thought peopleempowerment.ai was becoming the engine, the engine in the back of my thought. Not sure what shift I'm going to tap in, but for sure it will be enabling people and empowerment. So, and but the shift, what happens for me inside it now I see a lot of potential in conversational. There's a lot of power in each and every conversation. Each conversation is a lot of data, is a lot of what can we learn, what can we improve, but also what can we share. And it's a one time in a podcast, or can we just get all the nuggets of wisdom out of it and help a lot of people with it because it's human to human. So that's the single source of trust, not the single source of truth, but the single source of trust is the human to human conversation. And how can we help a lot of people in different challenges in their life by sharing the nuggets of wisdom we also share in a podcast, but when people need it. And I don't know how, and I'm not busy with that one, but that's because there's so much beauty in every conversation, right? So how can we, so I believe in conversational alchemy. So alchemy is for me the process from bare metal and then through a process and it becomes the pure gold. And I see every conversation has the potential to transform to pure gold. So if you're able to have a conversation and to unpack somebody's background, for instance, what we do, I really believe that we're able to, help you or yourself to become much more aware, but also by sharing it, helping other people to improve their lives and also maybe become aware of their challenges. And that's the alchemy part. So I'm not sure what it's going to become, but maybe for one, maybe in future I will brainstorm a little with you about that one.
Let's definitely do that. I love it.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about culture, because I can imagine it's a big difference coming from Uzbekistan, lived in Iran, and then living in the Netherlands. What do you think? What challenges did you face as a newcomer and immigrant founder? What were the biggest challenges?
I think the mindset is a bit different, because going back to the story as well, So when you're growing in the emerging market, you have that mindset that you need to deliver all the time. You need to survive. It's more result-driven approach. Like you need to just get to that point. Not always you're so much focused on how. It doesn't mean that you're doing a lot of mistakes, but at least the outcome is actually the focus. And I think what I'm actually learning, and this is a long way for me as well, that you need to also focus on the process a lot. And I was sharing with you in one of our recent calls as well that, the moment I actually got super positive news from the Rabobank that they're actually finally chose us to inject the money, 150K. I was in the car and I was like getting this news, and the lady was super nice and she was like, okay, I have a great news for you, Alisher. You got the money. We think that your pitch is one of the best ones, like all the great things. And I was super happy. But at the same time, I was just like looking around and like starting to really feel that I'm super alone, like in that moment, in the moment of joy. And that was just the 1 minute for me. And then after the 1 minute, I said, okay, there are lots of things going on. I need to just keep doing that. And going back to your question, what is different? And I think if I'm keep doing this stuff and living with this mindset in the Netherlands, that's not going to actually, I won't be able to win a lot. Why? Because first of all, I don't want to feel lonely all the time. No. I also want to actually share the success with the team. I also want to share the joy. So for that, I don't need to always sacrifice, that outcome part and everything, with the feeling that I also need to become a person with whom everyone wants to share the journey, share the joy, share the accomplishments. And I think that's something I'm learning exactly here in the Netherlands way more than I did actually back in Uzbekistan. That's like a huge culture difference for me.
Thanks for sharing. And how does it feel for you to share this?
I feel relieved.
Yeah, because it is beautiful, and thank you very much for your openness. And it also sounds like it's about the result, but you have result drivenness, and it maybe it also depends a little bit which starting point it comes from. When you explaining in Uzbekistan and then the real drivenness and the result, it feels like, and correct me please if I'm wrong, but it feels like it comes almost out as a sort of survival mechanism. Survival, we have to, and instead of we want to win and achieve a lot, but it sounds like a sort of survival principle.
Yeah.
Is it? Am I right?
I think you are right.
I don't know, So it's really a question that I don't know, but it feels, it's more. It feels like more than only we want to win, and we want to. It's more like it's so deep inside. It's like an instinct.
Exactly. There is always a competition inside yourself. I used to believe that there's someone I'm competing with. But to be honest, there is no one to compete with. It's me who I'm actually competing with myself always, And as you said, back to the point, sometimes you just need to allow to yourself. And I think that also like allow to myself to feel that it's good enough. But for the time being, at least this is not the case, You always need to chase more, be in a rush in a way. And I think that's, as I said, I'm starting to learn more about that. I'm starting to learn about myself even a bit more, because I'm starting to be a bit more open to learn myself. That was not the case before, because you simply don't have time for that. in your head. Yeah. Not necessarily this is true, but you think so.
In your mind, in your world, in your life, in your worldview. And that's a really important one.
Yeah.
Allowing and also space.
Yeah.
There is space between stimulus and response. There's a little bit more space.
Yeah. And maybe one more thing to share with you.
Of course, please do so.
Because what I also see as a pattern, like all of the plans we actually put, hopefully we will be there. Like we're doing all the right things for that. But the point is that sometimes I even imagine myself, okay, I am there. Like I'm having all this positive impact to all these lives. I'm feeling really good about that. But am I happy in that moment? And I'm struggling to answer that question, to be honest. So which means that it's not about even the result we will achieve, yeah? So it's indeed what you said, Michiel, starting to allow myself that, hey, you're doing a great job. Well done. Now we can move forward, yeah? Now we can do more. But don't be in that feel that, hey, it's just not good enough. And yeah, I can share that.
You know, this episode is recorded, eh?
Oh, really?
So it's
but you told me in the beginning that it's going to be raw.
I love your openness and to come to the conclusion is if there would be one piece of advice for the 10 years younger you, with all the lived experience you have now, at this moment, what would be the single most important advice you would love to give yourself, the 10 years younger you? So the 24 years driven Alisher.
2 things. And people hate me for that. I don't know. I always have 2 things, not one. I think, first of all, try to enjoy the process way more, because that's as good as the result. And the second one is risk more, but risk smart. So which means that don't be too crazy. Like you don't need to sell everything you have and just do something, because that was not something I feel right about. But trust yourself that you can do more. Because I could do a lot of things what I'm actually doing 5-6 years ago, but I was still like feeling that I'm not ready for that. I was ready for that. So yeah.
Beautiful. Alisher, we can talk for hours, and we will for sure also offline. I would love to be sometimes a accountability partner when it comes to the challenge of combining drivenness and allowing yourself to be in the moment and be very okay where you are at the moment. So if you allow me to help you sometimes a little bit, or nudge you, and sometimes confront you, I love to confront sometimes. I would love to. And I would love to thank you for your openness. Maybe one question. And that is, what has your transition up until now, because you're transforming, you're learning, taught you about identity, belonging, and resilience?
That's a very deep one. I think for me this is still work in progress. I'm not there yet to answer, but I have a very positive feeling that I'm actually starting to understand myself a bit more and starting to enjoy the moments with my family. Because before that was also one of the goals I need to achieve. Yeah, I love the person, everything's great with the person. Why don't I marry with her? Yeah, like everything was in that sense. But now I started to really see the beauty of the relationship with my wife, the beauty of relationship with my son. Same with my brother, both of them. Same with my parents, and be less judgy in a way. Yeah, I'm still not there yet. I'm keep saying that because I think that's a long process, but I already see that happening. I'm super happy with the initial results.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alisher.
Thank you very much for having me, Michiel.